He might slide. What the hell? He might slide in, boy. What you try to do? Put it in my mouth like it was a dick?
Wow, so basically tipping this slavery. I need those tips.
Damn, nigga, I'm just trying to understand this shit.
Do you think Jesus would tip?
Let's be honest, nobody really likes tipping. If you're at a restaurant as a customer, you have to figure out like an additional percentage to give your server so they basically don't starve to death. And as a server, you're fake laughing at all the customers' jokes, you know, basically dealing with rude tables and what? So they can give you a shitty tip at the end? All that work for nothing? So let's talk about ending this scam once and for all.
Come on, throw in a buck.
I don't tip.
You don't tip?
No, I don't believe in it.
Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Phil Has Anxiety Talking to People. How much do you usually tip at a restaurant?
Like 20%.
He might slide. What the hell? He might slide in, boy. What you try to do? Put it in my mouth like it was a dick? The question was, how much do people typically give genuinely at a restaurant? It's more like how many assholes are out here that don't want to give you fucking nothing.
I'm a little cheap. I'll say like at least 10. I have to at least. But if they like are really nice to me, yeah, I'll bump it up to 20.
20%.
Why 20%?
Because the service industry, I've worked in it, I think she has too, and it's hard and it's complicated and people are jerks.
How much do you tip, dude? 0%?
I'm a restaurant manager.
Oh, you're a restaurant manager. Okay, so you know, we have insider info over here.
20.
Always?
Always. If you can't afford that, don't go out to eat.
15 to 18%.
How come 15, 18%?
I was just told that number.
But why? Why do we tip? I want to know the reasoning behind this tipping culture that only exists in the US. To understand why, we have to understand when first. Tipping is rumored to have started during the 1700s in Europe. Rich snobs would tip the staff at a restaurant to flaunt their wealth, basically just to flex. But like most European practices, Americans rejected tipping culture at the time, saying it was undemocratic and stupid. Some states even went as far as enacting anti-tipping laws. However, some industries like restaurants and even some railway companies embrace tipping culture because it allowed them to hire recently freed slaves for no money, basically forcing them to live on tips. So tipping became a scapegoat for these businesses to avoid paying livable wages to their workers. Wow, so basically tipping is slavery. It's modern day slavery. And I'll prove it to you, because in 1938 they passed a law to have a federal minimum wage across all states. However, this excluded tipped wage workers, which means people making most of their money on tips, you know, it did not include that. That law didn't protect them basically. It wasn't until 1991 that they passed a tipped minimum wage, which by the way remains to this day. Even in 2021, some places like Texas and Georgia get away with paying $2 an hour for tipped workers. And here are some even more depressing numbers. Servers have a poverty rate about 3 times higher than the general workforce. They're also 2 times more likely to end up on food stamps, and only 82% of restaurant goers leave a tip for their server. That number goes even lower if you're a bartender. Only about 60% of their customers leave them a tip. So this guy's preaching about Jesus. Let me ask if Jesus would tip. Do you think Jesus would tip? And if so, how much?
Tip what?
Oh, like a percentage off of in a restaurant.
That doesn't really matter. What matters is that you need to give your life to Jesus Christ because he's the only way to heaven. If you die without Jesus, you will go straight to hell. Jesus says, repent, for the kingdom of God is at hand. So God bless you.
There you go. If you don't tip, you go to hell.
20%?
20%?
20%.
20%? What about you, little guy? How much do you tip?
$1,000.
$1,000? So I'm originally from Costa Rica, which is right here. In Costa Rica, you don't really tip servers. I mean, it's built into the menu prices. I mean, if you want to ball out, you can, but it's not really a custom like it is in the US. So whenever I first moved here, nobody could really explain to me what are the rules of tipping. I knew that you had to tip. It was just this random number. I mean, if an alien came down here on Earth and you had to explain tipping to them, this is kind of how it would go. So how was everything?
Everything was satisfactory. I just got done digesting all your food, and I am now ready to compensate you for your goods and services.
Oh yeah, the check, of course. I got it right here, actually. Here you go. Whenever you're ready, no rush in it, you know, take your time. If you have any questions, definitely let me know, okay?
What is this number here? Gratitude?
Oh yeah, gratuity. So in the United States, they have, you know, gratuity or tips, how we call them. It's an additional 15 to 20% on top of the final bill that, you know, helps pay me and my bills and, you know, for the service that you said was satisfactory, so.
I am confused. 3 full moons ago, I went to another fine dining establishment known as McDonald's. They did not have such charge.
Oh yeah, so they don't necessarily do that in fast food restaurants.
But they are also cooking and serving food.
Yeah, so they're given what's called a livable wage. Well, sometimes, right? And it's a fixed amount. They don't necessarily survive on tips.
Why don't they just do that here?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not 100% sure why we don't do it here, honestly.
And also, you said 15 to 20% is customary. How do I determine how much to give you?
It varies. It depends on a lot of things, like how good my service was, you know, how expensive the dish is, for example. If the more expensive the dish, of course, the more the tip, because it's higher percentage.
So it requires more effort from you to bring me a $30 dish rather than a $14 dish?
It all comes on plates, so not really.
So why would anybody pay a higher tip if the effort is the same?
Because if you don't give me a tip, I don't get to pay for my luxurious life. You understand, I have a 3-plex condo in Miami, and I just bought a $7,000 hairless cat. And who do you think is gonna pay for my $14,000 Gucci bag? I need those tips.
Damn, nigga, I'm just trying to understand this shit. Relax.
I don't even understand it, okay? I don't even know what I'm doing half the time, to be honest. So what's a good alternative? I mean, some people argue that the $15 an hour minimum wage should be enacted and of course include some of those tipped workers, but of course making a change like that is obviously going to come with some consequences. If the federal minimum wage were to go up to $15 an hour, 98% of restaurants would increase menu prices. 84% of restaurants would cut jobs and employee hours, and also 65% of those restaurants would add technology like a QR code, you know, so you can scan the menu and order straight off your phone, just so they don't have to hire so much staff. It's starting to sound like a dystopian future where everyone gets replaced by robots who can do their job way better. Thank God I'm an influencer though, so I don't have to worry about that, right? Right? God damn it, dude. Should have gone to college. Do you think servers should get paid like a salary as opposed to surviving off tips, or do you think tipping works?
No, I think it should be good salary and good tipping.
Both.
Yes.
Yeah, I would totally be willing to pay just like an extra couple bucks on the meal and not have to worry about tipping, because I also like feel bad if I'm not doing enough.
I think tipping works. I don't know. Second what she said.
As far as I know, like, because I tip a good amount usually, yes, but I know there's plenty of people that just either don't even pay for their meals or don't tip at all.
I think tipping actually works because, you know what I'm saying, they can get paid more.
Cause I'm type of motherfucker, I worked in customer service and I worked in restaurant business, and they used to give me nothing. Dollars, 50 cents, 75, sometimes nothing. Baby, it was always bullshit. At the end of the night, I was so mad I used to have to steal money out the cash register.
Servers getting hustled out here.
I think tipping should be additional for exceptional service, but I do think the base rate for restaurants pay their employees should absolutely be higher.
Have a good run. Jesus, I'm doing cardio out here. Fuck, dude, I'm working for this.
You might come into work having a bad day or something like that happen at home, and then you don't get paid as well just because you're having a bad day because they're saying, oh, your service is shit. If they could get a salary for it, then it will make more sense because the people will still get a flat rate of what they're paying.
This boy got this mic so close to my face like it's a dick. What is your problem, boy? I think it would be totally awesome sauce if the restaurant directors paid the customers, waiters, whatever, you know, a certain amount. Basically what you just said. Or they should just pay them a certain amount, because these old tipping out ass motherfucking customers ain't giving you nothing but a motherfucking headache. So nigga, you want the real deal? Quit sucking dick without a condom and your ass won't catch no bacteria infection, ho. Now that's just that. Aight, peace, nigga.
Alright, you heard it here first. Holy shit.
All right, I mean, I'll tip if somebody really deserves a tip. If they really put forth the effort, I'll give them something extra. But I mean, this tipping automatically, it's for the birds.
It's beginning to sound like tipping is an antiquated practice that probably needs to die, and it's being kept alive because we continue to do it. But nobody really wants to do it, so in protest, should we just stop tipping? Well, when you choose not to tip, you're just fucking over the server. You're not necessarily like taking down the system. But like I always say, the point of this channel is to present questions, not answers. So what do you guys think? Is the tipping system stupid and antiquated and we should change it, or does it actually work? Let me know. But see you next week. Love you guys like a headache.